Howdy everybody, this is the Roaming Prepper. Typically on a Sunday or Monday, today's Sunday the 17th, before I make a road trip or plan any trips in the coming weeks, I kind of like to take a look at what's going on in the world, what's going on nowadays with the coronavirus, and then get a feel for how I need to plan. So today, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to point out a few things I kind of look for. I like to read between the lines. And I'll give you a few pointers of what you should be trying to look at before you make a trip. It's especially important if you're flying or with family. I'll come back in a little bit and we'll go through what it is I look for. Okay, so typically before a trip, I like to get a feel for what's going on where I'm going. So I have a couple of domestic trips that may be occurring in the next couple of weeks. So I want to get a feel for what I'm going to get into. And we're going to do this pretty quick. I don't want to kill all my Sunday morning. Very often when you go to any major news source, ABC, Fox, CNN, take your pick, there tends to be sensationalist stuff up at the top. So I'm going to disregard that. Regardless of your political views, this is not relevant to my travel on a personal level. It could affect us. In a larger sense, you need to be aware of this. But what I'm looking for is you kind of scroll down, and here we go. This one's good. So, state houses and U.S. Capitol. So, this has been going on all of 2020, and I have no reason to doubt it will continue through a portion of 2021. However, this can be relevant if you're traveling somewhere, if I have to go across Texas, I have to go across Oklahoma. I don't want to go through Baton Rouge right now. I don't want to go through Austin. Oops. If you are in New York City and you have to go to Quebec because you're going to go skiing, don't go through Albany. Find another route. The bottom line is right now, you're seeing a lot of unrest around state houses, around state capitals, the U.S. Capitol. So, and this will include things, stepped up security, and I'm just going to browse through these. This is something I'll do when I know there may be trips coming up, just to give me a feel. Security in Washington, D.C. has intensified. Again, don't need to beat this to death. I'm in Texas, so, Texas Safety Department, public safety. They're going to have people in the Capitol. Austin has been a center of a lot of commotion. Here's another one, Michigan Capitol. So again, that kind of stuff, especially if you're going to fly. If you are driving, you have a lot of options on what you can pack, what you can stick in your vehicle. If you're going to be flying, obviously there's a limit, a reasonable limit for most of us, how many suitcases you can bring, how much you want to spend on suitcases. Make sure you pack something you can move in. We'll do a future video on making yourself ground mobile on a business trip. Obviously in normal times you can bring a bunch of suits and slacks and you're fine. Nowadays you want to probably have hiking boots or really good sneakers and something to disappear in. Here's another one. This one's a little more of a newer, fringy type news. Still a fun source. Los Angeles tops 1 million coronavirus cases. We saw that on the coronavirus website. So again, you're going through LA. They're probably going to increase the restrictions. There's going to be a lot of testing. You won't be able to go certain places. That's going to affect how you pack, how you arrive, how you leave. Pay attention to it. At least be prepared. It probably wouldn't hurt to call any hotel you're staying at and ask them what is the local situation. Most front desks or concierges will be more than happy to give you a rundown of the area. Fox, a little more mainstream, obviously. Talking about big tech fighting with each other. Joe Biden, no. FBI arrest Florida. Okay, so now they caught a right-winger in one state, they got a left-winger in the other. That's really not adding to what we already read. And again, I'm trying to read between the lines, folks. I'm not trying to be left or right-wing. In this case, we're trying to be as objective as we can and get an idea of what is going on. And yeah, it's really, I'm not seeing anything that's adding to what we already know. BBC had a funny one, so this is relevant for traveling. This guy decided to drive 100 miles to the 24-hour McDonald's, and he got fined because they have travel restrictions out there. So this is important. If you're going overseas, you need to be aware of what the local restrictions are and how they will affect you. You don't want to go and show up and start doing things not realizing that you can wind up in a bunch of trouble. Now, in the State Department, if you're going overseas, they have a smart traveler enrollment program. So it gives you a bunch of basic information. You can also create an account, enroll. They will send you texts and emails depending on where you said you were. They'll tell the local embassy or consulate that you will be in country from this date to that date. A lot of people don't like the government knowing, but if I'm on a business trip, I'm there formally anyway. I want somebody to know if I get, suddenly wind up in a hospital, or somebody can't reach me, or one of my team goes down there and I can't reach them. I want someone to be aware so that there are resources available. But the State Department website has a lot of good information regarding the conditions of different countries. I highly recommend. They're having arrests in Hong Kong too. So again, a lot of instability. Read about where you're going, get a feel, and not just the weather, which is important, of course, but stuff like this. Well, gang, I hope that was helpful. Just to give you an idea, understand that some of the previous jobs I've had, and including the most recent position up until just before the one that I have now, it was not uncommon for me to spend 1 to 2 weeks a month, equivalent, give or take, in hotels, on the road, traveling. A lot of it I did on land, so it was by vehicle, but there was a lot that was via aircraft or some were helicopter. Point being, do your homework before you go on a trip, and don't just count on the travel agent or the travel person at your company. Do your own homework, okay? You don't need to go somewhere where you don't have family, you don't have friends, you don't have your preps, you don't have all the gear you'd like, and something goes sideways. I hope this was helpful. Once again, this is the Roaming Prepper. If you're on the road, Godspeed. And to the rest of you, including those of you who are on the road, be safe, pay attention, and be ready. Until next time, thanks and Godspeed. Take care.